Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in a couple hours from me recording this video, the rifts are about to go live, and I just wanted to share basically my strategy for rifts to make sure I get statistically the most amount of rewards that I actually care for. And typically, rifts are a pure RNG game. However, whenever they give us those temporal locks, we obviously do have some control in which rewards we are going to be getting. And that, again, gets amplified by the idea that there are 4 different types of rifts with 4 different types of rewards in which we can use these temporal lift locks. Now, first things first, you only get 4 of those, and all 4 of those should be used on the highest difficulty quests, obviously. So do not use any of those locks on the lower difficulty rifts. It would be just a waste. And I also do not think that it's worth purchasing them for 200 units each necessarily. But that's just my opinion. I genuinely do not think it's worth it. However, and here I'm going to have to use an enlarged version of this picture, but it's not in the greatest quality. There are obviously differences in the rewards from week to week. As we can see, week 1 we have one set, week 2 we have some different set, and it's not necessarily only about which item you are going to pursue, it's also which week you are going to do it. And the base principle in making sure that you have the best statistical chance of getting the most rewards that you want is to use these lockpicks in the week that has the least amount of positive outcomes. So if, for instance, week 4, honestly, like week 4 has basically everything that I kind of want. I don't mind if it drops on tier 2 alphas or tier 5 basics or tier 5 class catalyst fragments or 6-star shards or tier 4 basic catalysts. I also need those. Tier 4 basic catalysts or 6-star 6 stones. Why not? So virtually every single reward in week 4 is something that I'm going to be okay with, right? I'm going to get use out of all of them. So there is 0 point in using a temporal lockpick, because at the moment I don't even know which one I'd prefer. So it clearly would be a huge waste of time to use my temporal lockpicks on week 4. Now, I do understand that your own personal valuation might vary of each resources, and this is reflective of myself. That's why I'm also explaining the principle behind it, and then I'm going to say, obviously, exactly what I am going to do. What I recommend every single one of you doing is just going over the rewards and highlighting the items that you want to pull, and then adding up the percentages. So, for instance, in week 1, tier 5 basic, sure. Tier 2 alpha, sure. Tier 5 class catalyst fragment crystals, sure. 6-star shards, sure. 5-star shards, I don't really need them. So, take it or leave it. I left them out. You can leave them in if you want. Tier 4 class catalyst crystal, sure. 5-star hero crystal shards, again, I don't really need them, and I left them out. So in week 1, it turns out that I have about 65% chance to get something that I would be genuinely satisfied with. That's 2 out of 3 runs. I'm going to get 7 in total. Means, for most part, I'm going to be getting the rewards that I want, or at the very least, do not mind. See, week 2, I did the same thing. In week 2, it's pretty much the same thing, but I, again, get 65% chance to land on the rewards that I do want. Only things that I don't want is these 5-star signature stones. But 5-star signature stones, again, in my head, carry less value than 5-star crystal shards. So if anything, I would be leaning towards using my temporal picks on this week 2 compared to week 1, because I really don't want those 5-star 6 stones. Genuinely don't need them. But then we have week 3, and week 3 is horrible. Week 3 is virtually everything geared towards 5 stars. Where you have 5-star 6-stone crystals, 5-star crystal shards, 5-star 6 stones, and more 5-star crystal shards. And then you have 2 sets of 6-star shards, and then again 5-star signature stone crystals. Out of all of these items, I'm personally only interested in the 6-star shards. Again, 5-star shards kind of fine if I have to, but genuinely don't want anything to do with 6 stones. And ideally, not really the 5-star shards either. So it's quite obvious. In week 3, I only have 25% chance of, actually positive outcome that I would like. And for me, that's quite clear that all of my lockpicks will get used in the rifts of week 3. However, there's also a trick because you're only going to get one lockpick a week. So I'm going to do my rifts the first week and save my lockpick. I'm going to do my rifts the second week and still save my lockpick. Now, when it comes to week 3, I'm going to use my 3 lockpicks because I'm going to get the third lockpick as soon as I finish the first rift of week 3. But I will have to leave one entry until week 4 gets unlocked. Why? Because I will have to go and complete week 4 to get the 4th lockpick. Then I'm going to go back and do my last run of week 3 to grab those 1350 6-star shards. And then I'm going to complete rest of week 4's rifts. So that is effectively the plan for me because it makes sense statistically, math-wise, and otherwise I'm just going to be extremely pissed off at week 3 because everything there is to do with 5 stars. Now, again, if you personally, for instance, don't mind or want the 5-star shards, then the correct answer might be for you. However, the best possible statistical way how to determine when to use your lockpicks remains the same. Go over each item and figure out whether you want it or not, whether you would be happy with that pick, and then add up all the percentages of successful outcomes. Then you're going to figure out how high of a chance you have to get an outcome that you would be happy with, and figure out which week has the least chance of a successful outcome, and that is when you use your rifts. If you do decide that week 1 is when you want to use your lockpicks, or week 2, then keep in mind to save up all the needed entries for later on. So don't do all of the rifts immediately if you want to use lockpicks on week 1. There are 4 lockpicks, you can get up to 7 entries. So what you would want to do is you would basically only want to do the weeks 1 rift 3 times, get the lockpicks, and then come back and do those rifts. If you want to do it in week 2, it's the same thing. You only complete 3 rifts in week 2 and then come back and complete them with the lockpicks with the guaranteed keys. So keep in mind that you will get, again, just the 7 entries per difficulty per week. So you do need to account for the 4 entries that you want to use those lockpicks, and do not just kind of like, rush through them and forget about them. But that being said, that is pretty much it. It's actually a very simple principle, and it can be confusing if you just look at it as, which one is overall better or not. But as soon as you start breaking things down to, each specific reward and involve a tiny bit of basic math in it, it's actually very clear and very simple to decide when to use your lockpicks and on which items. So for me specifically, week 3 is garbage rewards for everything but the 6-star shards, and I'm just going to use all 4 of my lockpicks to get these 1350 6-star shards. So that's going to give me like 5k something 6-star shards in that week, plus 3 random entries, and I'm fine with that. Either way, that's going to be it for this video. I do not want to keep you guys any longer. I just figured I'm going to put this out there just before the event goes live, so hopefully it is useful for you, and I'm going to catch you guys later. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about